anybody else in there? I'm trying to get on to this.
Yeah, I got in my hair.
Say again?
Yeah, my honest Terry Reynolds from Salt, Texas.
Hey, Terry, how are you?
I'm fine. I thought I had a little bit. I had been over the last several years ago. I did a little John Jordan demonstration. I watched him, and since then I've been trying to master it, which I'll probably never do, but I've been getting a little better. And I did a piece last week, and I thought maybe I'd show it.
All right. Well, I'm trying to clean up the screen.
I got a tripod, so hopefully you'll be able to see it. This is the last one that I did last week. I just finished it this morning. These are all out of Mesquite, and they're all different time frames, and they're all a little different design and a little thing. I'm not sure I like the top of this one, but pretty good. But I'm kind of proud of them all. They'll never be John Jordan, but I work at it. I thought you'd like to see them, and it's one I did several years ago with a hard line. And so I just thought I'd show them. That's all I have. It's good talking to you. I'm enjoying this. Yeah, goodbye. Who else?
Hey,
I've got something.
We got a problem getting the video up from Terry. We got you now, Terry. The signal must be weak on one end to the other because it's kind of choppy. But hey, those are some gorgeous pieces you did for us.
Well, thank you.
And teachers always like to see what their students do. They really do. Good, bad, ugly. They want to see that their students actually went home and played with it and developed something. It's a key thing in this world. Is did I do any good? Well, start with find a person to partner with. Find somebody you can partner with. They don't have to be better than you or worse than you or even to you or anything. Just share ideas. I mean, I go to Ronnie's house and I see gizmos and gadgets that he's made, and then I come back and think about, I could probably do something like that, or maybe, but I got the idea, and whether or not it's any good, got the idea. All right, I'm being told by my boss is that it's time to crank it up, and let's do that right now. I'm Captain Eddie Castellan. This is something we call Worldwide Woodturners. And if you want to be part of the program, it's that simple. All you have to do is be a part of the program. The rules are simple. Here they are. Be kind, be nice, be human. That's it. Remember, everybody in this room is your friend, and we're all looking to gain the same thing. Again, we've got some programs going on. We're trying to develop some information. I need to know more about you and your turning and how you do things. And what do you like to do? That's another one. What do you like to do? So with that, I'm going to crank it off right away and show you a poll. And this is something we developed the other day following the program of AAW Symposium. And the question is fairly simple. If you attended or viewed the most recent AAW Virtual Symposium, what are your comments? And I think we have 8 or 10 choices. It's not finalized, but you can do multiples and let us know how you feel about things that they did. It's the way some clubs are going. It's the way this world is going right now with the COVID virus. So we invite you to get in part, if you would. The ballot should be up on there on the screen, and all you have to do is give me an answer. We got another one around a little while. Got a pretty good crowd. Let's crank it off at that special time for new members. And here's the deal. We don't hear enough from new turners. Uh-oh, Doug Rose. The first sergeant's here.
Hey, I finally made it.
We don't hear enough from new members. and saying enough. We know you're out there. We know you're part of the group. We know you're involved. We just don't know what you need to know. So if you're a new turner, novice turner,
I think so.
beginning turner, experimenting turner, a turner, and you have a particular question, we're going to pop in and say right now, get up on the dance floor and dance. Your turn. Okay, if I drink enough of that scotch, I'll do all the turn. Come on, jump in here. Wow, a lot of responses on the AAW program. Okay, nobody wants to chat? That's fine. We'll go on to something else. I have a submitted gallery, but to do that, Ronnie, why don't you talk about our guest for a minute? And I'm going to pop over here and set up the gallery. It wasn't set up.
Okay, we have two gentlemen tonight. We have Mike McAdams and Craig Rabelais. These two guys are a group of 5 guys that get together once a week, and they get together in Napoleonville, Louisiana, which is about an hour and a half west of New Orleans. These guys get together, and when I tell you they are the people for segmented work and stave work, they have this down pat, and they really do some nice work. What they do, there's 5 guys, and they get together, and one of them is very good on the computer, so he'll design whatever they're going to make, whether it's a bowl or a vase or whatever they're going to do. And they decide the shape of it. They decide what wood they're going to make and everything else. They tell me the majority rules, and whatever the way everybody wants to go, everybody goes along with this. These 5 guys really have a good thing going. There's a close camaraderie. They get together once a week, and it's mostly all day long. The wife there cooks for them, and they really have a special thing going. Mike McAdams, are you there? Are you ready to show your pieces?
Yeah, I'm here, Ronnie.
All right, Mike, we're going to do a little preview here and show some folks what we're talking about, and let them take it so we can continue with this. This is a program I developed this week for you, and it's called segmenting, and it's to a little bit of a different degree. And I've got to click on slideshow and play from the start, and said segmented to a different degree, because a lot of folks think segmenting is just taking scraps around the shop and putting it together to make something. Well, that is true. But sometimes when you plan it out, like they do it in Napoleonville, it works out even better. The work shown this is provided by Mike. Mike, I spelled your name wrong. I thought I found them all. It's Mike McAdams. And I got some stuff from a guy called the Papa 1947 from YouTube. And I picked up these because some of it is really unique. This is from the Papa, and this is a segmented piece laid out in a spiral. Now, this is when you play with it a lot, and I believe he does. This is looking down over the top. As you can see, what we saw on the outside was a simple stack. When you look at it on the inside after it's cut out, it's not so simple. It's a really nice looking piece. And here's a little close up of another one he did. It's more of a plate, same way. And when you get up close, see that? That mix, that is all shop scraps he laid out and put together to create segments. And well, you create boards, and then you create strips, and then you create segments. And we always get some questions about holding a piece. My philosophy is this: if you can't hold it, you can't turn it. If you can hold it, you can turn it. This is one of the ways he goes about flipping around a finished piece. This piece is completely finished. He's got to take that bottom off on the foot down there. But he makes his own holdbacks, these little clips, hold that piece of shelf paper on this piece of plywood that he centered up using his tailstock and his point. And that gave him something to flip around with. Now we're going to pop over to some stuff that Mike McAdams sent us. See, Mike, I got your name right this time. This is a piece he did in that club in Napoleonville. The Starburst is really unique. And don't let it cross your eyes, folks. These guys worked it out, and when they did it in the shop, they all play with colors and types of wood. And I think all 5 or 6 of them turn everything they see and challenge each other. Here's another. This is a stave bowl out of segmented work. Yeah, funny. More and more items. Here's a vase, a vase, and it is staved. Also, some overlays on it to help it up. Mike's going to explain that to us. And here it is, glued up. Now, talk about from the basics. We take it from the basics. Let's see if I can back this up one. This was created from this. You don't think planning goes into this stuff? And here's the question. This is open question time. Bob Silkinson sent this in for a photograph for the gallery and the newsletter. Is it segmented or not? Bob can't vote. I'd like to hear from you what y'all think. Is that segmented or not?
I don't think so.
I don't
Steve
think so.
doesn't think
It's
so.
needed.
Absolutely not.
Beat it.
No. Beat it. Right.
Basket illusion.
Basket illusion. That's a nice way to put it.
There it is.
I posted this up the other day, and a guy, or Turner, emailed me and said, how does he work at Liberty Beat pieces like that? That was a mastery of pyro and color. Really nice. Takes a little planning, a little layout. I tried it one time and got confused about how many segments created, and well, that went in the burn pile. But that was an example. Now, Mike McAdams is with us tonight. We asked Mike to come in and talk to us a little bit about putting this stuff together and planning it. Mike, are you there?
Hi, I'm here, Eddie.
Okay. All right. I'm going to put you up on Spotlight. And now we got you. See what you see and I'm seeing. You got it, Mike? Mike, you turn off your speaker, your microphone. Mike, you turned off your microphone. Mike,
Unmute yourself.
you turned off your microphone.
Hello, good night.
Press bar, Mike.
Unmute. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Gotcha.
Okay. First of all, we start out, Mr. Craig Rebele on the computer, for the majority of the stuff, does our designs. But then we get together in the shop and we kick it around. Everybody puts their input and everybody has a say-so and finding one of the easier ways possibly to put it together and to turn it. And actually we turn out 5 totally different looking pieces because as you know, we're turning, we do it in our head on the lathe. We start out with a general idea what to put, but what we're doing, we lay into things. And with this vase here in particular, it's the latest one we've done in the vase. You can see the veneers. We have about 160 veneers, maple, walnut veneers. Well, we establish the angle. We have to establish the angle at each stay has to be cut at. Then we establish the length of each color, how we want it, and it all has to be sandwiched inside and out to get all this effect you're seeing with all the different lines on it.
I just showed the slide about that thing being glued up, which is
Yes.
really helpful for some folks. They're trying to put this together in the head, and that doesn't work.
Well, you got to decide in diameter, just like you do with the regular segmenting turning. You have to decide the diameter, then divide it by the number of stays you want, then figure the angle. And you really have to do mock-ups. You have to do a prototype out of pine or scrap wood or whatever you do, because gluing this thing up is very, very tricky. And it's very difficult to keep everything perfectly centered. I hadn't seen one yet that's been a perfect center, okay?
There's a key for doing that. We watched you glue one up in Skipper Shop a while back. You were stacking layers. I thought it was you, stacking layers holding in a headstock and bringing up the tailstock with a centered up piece. Ronnie liked it. He went home and did that big, huge vase of Oz. And he had a pretty good piece. I could not see a shift in rings. And the shift in rings just adds a dimension you don't want. Well, maybe you want it, but it looks good when it's uniform.
Well, I'll glue up, Eddie. It's total manually. It's not on the lathe. It's on the bench top.
But putting links together, I watched y'all put layers together on the lathe.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Oh yeah. When we're doing the segment, for instance, doing this vase, we're using a cold jaw on this vase here you showed, Eddie. We're using cold jaws on the headstock, tailstock. And we start with the very bottom with a glue block. Then we put each completed ring on cold jaw, which keeps it perfectly centered. But it's a different story trying to do that with stays. You cannot put this on a cold jaw with the stays. You have to manually sit there and try to keep it centered. Well, we hadn't figured it out yet. Maybe there is a way, but I don't think we've mastered that yet. This is how we started, Eddie. We started with a little pepper grinder. You see the vertical stays with the spaces? That's what we started with. 5-inch pepper grinder.
That's a nice piece of work.
And that was our first piece. And we all turned them completely different after we put it all together. But this was the very first piece. Then we really got adventurous and went to what I call a pumpkin. This is our next really nice piece. Really, really nice piece with cherry.
I want to see the lid.
See the lid?
Oh, nice.
Oh, well, let me show you the inside, Eddie. Watch it inside. See if I can show you the inside.
Boy, that's a good mix. That is. Now.
And that's because we layered. We sandwiched 3 pieces of wood. With the stay, each stay is sandwiched with 3 pieces. With the walnut, the maple, and the cherry. And actually the turning is giving you all the designs, the circles on the inside as you cut away each layer.
Okay, Mike, I got to mention to you here, we don't refer to wood as scrap wood.
No, none of this is scrap. This is
okay. Yeah, but I mean, you said you can build one out of scrap wood, for your prototype.
Well, plywood.
There's no such thing as scrap wood for a wood turn. Come on, it's just the size that you can turn it, but not
non-usable in a bowl.
Right.
We'll eliminate scrap and non-usable in a bowl. And this is another vase that we did that was very unique. See it?
I've seen that one in person, and I heard comments from the crowd about how that was done. None of them had it right. They didn't figure it out. I'm going to talk about top line turners looking at it. They had a hard time figuring it out.
Well, as Mr. Rabelais can attest to it, we do a lot also. We have a lot of playing with it. And putting it together is very, very difficult because sometimes you get some of the pieces upside down. Got to pull the ring off. But it is very complicated, but very enjoyable.
Well, you're trying to beat the glue up time. You know, you don't have forever to wait for that glue to set up.
Ed, you probably seen it at the meeting, but I want to show the rest of the guys because I got a question for everybody. If somebody can answer it for me. I work with some PVC board, and I did a bowl with PVC. Put top ring and 2 spaces. That's all PVC segments, all segmented.
All I got to say is wow. And I like working with alternative materials.
Pardon?
And I like working with alternative materials.
I do too. I like to do something different I hadn't done before, and that's basically. And you can barely see the joints on this segment. It's amazing how great this PVC board works and how simple it is to put together.
You keep going back to, you use the word board. This was a sheet stock. You cut this out of sheet.
I have 2 friends in the cabinet business, and they're building some aluminum bolts down here, one of the shipyards for one of the foreign countries. And they requested PVC cabinets. So I get all their drop off. Anytime I want drop off, I go to the cabinet shop and they give me the drop off.
Okay, so you didn't say scrap. So
No,
you
it's
said drop offs.
Drop off, not scrap.
Michael, what kind of glue did you use?
Pardon?
What kind of glue did you use to glue it up?
Clear PVC glue. The first one I did this one with epoxy, believe it or not. Every time I did a ring, taking off my clamp, cleaning it with mineral spirits to get the, well, I said that was too much work. So I made 2 smaller bowls with less rings, and I used the clear PVC glue. Oh, that's amazing. It's one of the funnest, enjoyable pieces to put together because you're not having to deal with all them stainless steel rings.
Yeah.
So is it just decorative, or you can use it?
Well, I'll never have made one to test. I didn't want to ruin it testing with food, but I know food's going to stain it. I tried coating it with, let's see, I used polyurethane to try to coat it. I put 4 coats. Beautiful finish.
Wow.
But a week later, it all turned yellow. So I had to chuck it back up and return it, take everything off, sand it, and left it. This does not have a finish on it. The only thing that has a finish is the wood in it. This does not have, and I got 2 other ones I did.
It's beautiful.
The only
Mike,
problem I have with PVC, it's open grain. And when you're sanding, the wood wants to bleed over. So the other bowls I made, I only did the top ring on it. Only the top ring on the other 2 bowls I made. And
Okay.
it comes out a lot nicer.
We lost your audio, Mike, Bob. Mike, we lost your audio. Mike? We can't hear you. You clicked off something or something.
Keeps on
You're
I
back.
haven't found nothing yet because I hadn't experimented with a lot of stuff, on the coating, but I don't know what we could put. I tried Googling and I couldn't find any information anywhere on it, on what to coat with.
What product was that?
The PVC.
Okay.
I did polyurethane.
Mike, I think we're going to try some CA glue and see what it looked like.
Well, I don't like working with CA. I'm not a CA glue worker. I don't like it. When I got my hood on, I wear the hood we bought at SWAT with the positive airflow with the filters, and it sucks all the fumes into your face. And believe me, you run outside real quick.
You're using the wrong CA glue.
So I'm not going to turn. That's one of the best piece of equipment I've ever purchased. Was that?
Hey, Mike,
Yes.
I'm gonna call you tomorrow and tell you which one to use. We
I
got
have the medicine. I have the one from Mark Soleil. I have the stuff.
checked out and checked
But-
back in.
And I've used it, but I've used it on small peoples, on pepper grinders.
It's a chemical, and some people react to chemicals different than others. I react to the accelerant. I can use the CA all day long with a small fan blowing it away from me, but when I pump the accelerant, it lights me up.
Well, Eddie, I have problem when I cut away the glue blocks off the bottom with the CA glue. I use yellow glue now. The phase 3 and the yellow glue I'm using because I don't have problem dealing with the fumes when I'm cutting my glue blocks off the bottom. I chuck things, but a lot of times I glue and put a face plate and I glue up with a glue block. And the fumes, that mass sucks in all the fumes.
Okay.
So
I have a question for you.
okay, Ronnie?
When you're doing that stave work, and when you go to put the stave work to the bottom, you now have in grain to side grain. Are you having any problem with that staying together?
The end grain to sod grain. No, we're not putting in to sod. We're putting strictly sod grain. Craig, Robert, Craig, if you're listening, you can depend on this, Craig.
Yeah, a couple of ways to do it is to
Did I lose you, Greg?
Craig Rabelais.
Okay.
Show us the bottom of the vase.
You still there?
Yeah, now I got you, Greg. Whoops,
Yeah.
Egan.
A couple of ways to do it. If you're scared of that, we haven't had any problems with it, but you can pocket it into the end grain and turn a center pin on the bottom and insert it as if it were a rabbit. And then you shouldn't have any problems because you got a double offset. But that way you can blend the bottom together with the sides.
Thank you, Greg. Greg is a member of that team out of Napoleonville. And I've been wrong, Mike, a couple of times. And I said the 6 in Napoleonville. Unfortunately, this year we lost one of the 6. And that's why it's the Napoleonville 5. But these guys are artists. Anybody got a question for Mike?
How thick were the PVC layers?
3/4. Everything was started with 3/4.
Wow.
It's one of the funnest things. I don't know if you ever turned PVC pipe, I'm sure you have. And it's like turning a piece of PVC pipe. It's wonderful to turn. I'm gonna show you another unique piece. I have an operational kerosene lantern, segmented.
You just use the term operational.
Yes, inside the round part is a can that takes the fluid. The burner unscrews off. You fill the can, screw it back on. You can light the wick. It works. Operational. This is a mineral popular segmented kerosene lantern.
Good
16
idea on the
segment
can.
rings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 rings.
And for those that don't know it, if you use a tiki torch oil in there, it's got a mosquito repellent. So you can sit outside under the canopy and enjoy a little evening. You light one of those up and put it by you.
This was very enjoyable trying to figure out how to keep the can from touching the wood so I wouldn't have no heat that would penetrate the wood.
You see, I
The
told
best
them
place
to
to
do
get
that, so now they
those-
have to build one.
Well, I built the first one that wasn't operational, was just a showpiece. Then I said I wanted a lantern that would operate. And I've sold a couple of them since I've built.
All right. Anybody else
That's
got
just-
questions for Mike? Floor is open.
Hey, Eddie, we've got a bowl. I know Mike is.
Apologize for not sending
Swapping over to you. Go ahead.
I apologize for not sending pictures, but I'll try and show you the best I can here if I can swap cameras.
Yeah, go ahead.
This was a segmented bowl that we did with the group. It's probably got, and I'm guessing here, 5, 6 types of wood. It's maple, Wingate, Purple Heart, walnut, and think bloodwood or either Purdue. That we
Bloodwood,
segmented and did. It's still, we spiraled it